For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Great moments in history have begun with a question.
To be or not to be, that is the question.
What came first, the chicken or the egg?
Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor?
And what kind of hair product does Mitch Moss use? But Follow the Money wants to know.
You concur. Concur with
What, sir?
you concur.
I'm trying to wrap my head around all of this because the narrative and some of the reports that were out there before the first round suggested that if Tom Thibodeau, head coach of the New York Knicks, does not get out of the first round, that he could be fired in a very difficult matchup against the Detroit Pistons, and one in which the Knicks easily could have lost. So you have that, those reports, that narrative out there, and Tom Thibodeau is a very good NBA coach. This is the world that we live in. And Joe Mazzulla has a job? How? Joe Mazzulla should be fired regardless of the outcome this year for the Boston Celtics. Do you concur?
Whoa, that's strong. Yeah, 100% if they lose to the Knicks. 100%. And when I run all this down, how do you not just jump out of your chair or car and say, this is coaching? Watch. If you didn't watch the first two games, watch tomorrow. They don't pass the ball. 35 assists in the series. 9 baskets in the fourth quarter. 84-68, 8 minutes left. Lose the game 8 minutes without a basket. All this talent they have. 72-52, 6 minutes third quarter, lose. 73-53, 2 minutes left. 34-11 run, lose. Tatum, 2 of 19 in the fourth quarter along with Brown. And this is the best part. I echo these sentiments from Zach Lowe from The Ringer. They had the same issues last year. They just didn't face a healthy team or a good enough team to beat them and push them.
100%.
Because every team they played, the star player got hurt.
Or multiple players got hurt.
Yes. Because the whole thing was, my God, if they don't win it now, what's going to happen? You've been to the conference finals 6 times in 8 years and coming on the heels of the huge favorite. ESPN said they were 98% to beat the Heat, the 8th seed in the conference finals. They lost that. They were down 0-3. Mm-hmm. And it was, Indiana, best player out. Mitchell didn't play for Cleveland. No Butler from Miami. You didn't see Denver. You didn't see Minnesota. You got Dallas. It was a horrible matchup. It's just, for him to come out and say, I'm fine with the shots, they're going to lose. That's why. Because what they think they're doing is okay.
Sure. So I have several problems with him and the narrative around this because people are just sheep and they just automatically assume that, he won a ring. Man, he's a champion. He's got to be good. That is one of the dumbest arguments that you could ever make for anybody in any sport. It means nothing.
Barry Switzer.
Yeah, of course. Think about what this guy walked into after Udoka was fired.
Yes.
He was given the keys to the most expensive and the fastest car in the world. And because he won a title like he is Mario Andretti, knock it off. Not only do I think there's a chance that he's not really good, I think there's a chance that the guy's a bad basketball coach and a little bit clueless as well. Mm-hmm. I don't think he's good. I really don't. And we are seeing this play out right now. You've had no solution late in these fourth quarters. And to your point, there's no passing. It's all staying. All of the contested threes. Do something about that, man. It's your team, and you're okay with it. That's not good coaching. That's the exact opposite. The nightly combo of NBA and NHL playoff games happening simultaneously, the drama, the betting storylines, etc., has been just as good, if not better, than March Madness. Do you concur?
Yes, I do. It's been great with the schedule. And then that going back, was it 10 days ago? We had 6 games. I think 4 were going on at the same time.
Yeah.
Which could have been a bit
8
much.
8 games, I think, on one of the nights.
8 and 6 at the same time because there was some overtime stuff going on. Yes. With how home teams have struggled. First round of the NHL playoffs always delivers. Look at the Game 7s we had.
Sure.
With what Colorado did or didn't do, Dallas come back, and then what Winnipeg did. So You're going to have a couple blowouts with the 1-8s. That's going to happen, a 1 against an 8.
Couple,
but other than
sure,
that,
but
it's been great. It's been phenomenal. And that's in the March Madness, which usually delivers. It was a downer because it was all chalk. And then we had that Friday night where it was all chalk and all blowouts. So 100% concur.
Yeah, I mean, you have, well, first of all, the NHL playoffs, they rarely, if ever, disappoint. NBA playoffs do sometimes, but this has been, with all these road teams winning as well, all going on at the same time, the threat of overtime, or it's a one-goal game, final 2 minutes, goalie is pulled, here we go, it's straight bedlam, and it's every single night for the most part. We are going to look back after the NBA Finals and say, why didn't we bet Oklahoma City over and over and over again when they were plus money? Do you concur?
I'm not there yet, no. Tonight's big. Come out, show your dominance, show us that you could have won 70 games if you wanted to, and show us you're the best team, and it's not close. That's what I want to see. I hope you're right, but that's still knowing knowing how to win and winning that big game and the experience. Tonight's going to be big, and I want to see what they do if calls go against them as well. Because as you said, it wasn't a good performance on the road against Memphis, a shorthanded Memphis team.
I think. Okay, let's assume for 1 second here that they eventually beat Denver in the series. I think Minnesota will present a challenge to them. I think that can be a really good series. Minnesota will not go away quietly. They'll win, I think, at least a couple of games. Who knows? They might make it tighter than that. If the Thunder get by that series, I got to tell you, I think they would want to play Boston. I would not like Boston's chances. I could be dead wrong about this.
Well, they would blow out the Knicks and the Pacers.
Oh, I think so, too.
I mean, they went to the Garden, and I think they were up 30 in the second quarter. Sure. Early in the regular season.
I also think the Celtics would be in a matchup nightmare against their depth and their defense overall. A legitimate, badass American boxer would be one of the biggest superstars in this country. Do you concur?
The caveat, he's got to be a heavyweight.
Okay.
Not bad. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Got to be a heavyweight, and we can get there. And we got to get boxing back. And we have to get boxing back when it ran this city, and it was so good. I didn't move here till 2000. You as well. But I remember the first thing you said to me was, you got to go to a De La Hoya fight. I go, who cares? I wasn't even in a boxing. De La Hoya fight. In the skirt and the stuff that was going on there. But imagine what we had in the glory days of Las Vegas and when boxing ruled. Mm-hmm. De La Hoya, Tyson, even the Bo stuff, Lennox Lewis, Pacquiao, Mayweather. I mean, Hearns, Hagler. It was ridiculous what you had. And it's dead, and it's been dead. I see Pacquiao's coming back. Who cares?
I know,
Mayweather was great.
Old.
He handpicked his fights. He never really challenged himself till the fighters that he fought were at the end, his opponents. So
if he would fight twice a year and pick the moments when it might be a little bit of a downtime in sports, oh my God, the popularity for a real, like a legendary, potentially like American boxer. They had fights in Times Square. I didn't even know it until it was over with. I had no idea. How is that possible? And how about this? Aaron Judge is as high as 80-1. Thanks to Robert. Email ftm@vsin.com. 80-1 at sportsbooks to hit 400 on the year. He's hitting exactly 400 as we speak. It's not a great bet, but it's a fun bet. Do you concur?
No. He was hitting 430, wasn't he? Or 420?
So it's dropped quite a bit here.
So he came down. It's no chance it's going to happen.
No chance? No fun.
They hit 4. No. You're better off with the first of 13 pool that all these bars do and sports books offer. Better off most wins in a month. That kind of thing's better for more pizza money than this, because there's just no way he's going to have. I mean, talk to me in a week. He might be hitting 380.
Good. But what if he's hitting like 413 at the break?
No.
80-1 will turn into 40-1? Can we get anybody other than John Olerud 30 years ago to have like 400 average in August?
Going at it, Brett came close one year, George Brett. Mm-hmm. Forgot about Olerud. That's not bad. Was that a deep run? How deep was he?
I honestly think that he made the 400 run. Yeah. It was, God, this is a long time ago now, but I want to say like July or August.
I think when they canceled the World Series, I think Gwynn was close to 400, and then Matt Williams had all those home runs.
Matt Williams and Griffey that year.
Yeah.
They were both on pace to break the all-time record.
Oh, man. Very good. Want to know where the money's really going with the betting splits? Unlike other sources, our splits come straight from Circa and DraftKings. Circa's known for taking big bets from pro bettors. You're getting the real action, not just the public money, but the kind of wagers that move lines. See the percentage of bets versus percentage of handle on every game across every major sport, helping you make smarter, more informed bets. Get the betting splits as little as $9.99 with your first month. VSiN.com/subscribe.
I think the teams with the best records when they canceled the season in '94, I want to say Montreal and the Yankees.
Yeah, that's why people were pissed off, because it was Mattingly's chance.
That and Jimmy Key was having a great year, if I recall correctly.
All right.
Love Jimmy Key.
Yeah.
Big fan of him. And the Expos, oh, boy.
Well, the talent they had. The other thing, too, here's the one thing where I'll throw him a bone. Missoula. They need Porzingis. And you remember he had
But what does it tell you, though?
He had that
needs
respiratory
Porzingis
illness.
to make it.
Well, that's true. I know, that's fair. But they're also a different team, and he's got the flu again, and he didn't give him much in Game 2. He missed the second half, and he missed 8 games in the middle of February with that respiratory illness, this mysterious illness that he has, too. So he makes a world of difference when he's out there as well. But if it's going to be touch and go with him, with the minutes and his health, that also hurts him. But this Tatum stuff is just nonsense. This is diabolical. 23 points last 7 quarters, 9 free throw attempts, 8 turnovers, 5 of 20 from 3. Brown and Tatum, Game 2, fourth quarter, 1 of 9. 2 of 19 overall in the fourth quarter.
Telling you, he so badly wants to be talked about in the same sentence as Kobe Bryant and maybe even like a Michael Jordan type, and some of the other, like Jokic. He wants to be there with Curry and SGA. Sorry, pal, you're not even close. I can't stand his game. I cannot emphasize that enough. He should be so much. Anyway, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but did you bet the Knicks to win the series then?
Mm-hmm.
Up 2-0?
Yeah.
Here they reopened Celtics minus 120. It was pick 'em.
Oh, yeah. Can't believe it. It's just, you got to throw out the regular season now. You just have to look at how the Knicks are in their heads and how Boston's being stubborn, and they think they're everything. Well, water's going to find its level. They're going to go. It's a small sample. You throw the math out the window now. It's not an 80-game season. It's a best of 7. You're down 0-2. You can't make threes right now.
They also should not have lost either one of those games.
Yeah. That's how I know it's not close on paper. It's not close until you take ill-advised 3 after 3 after 3.
All right, we can assume they're getting good news based on point spread movement in the market this morning. That's next.
If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine. And maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them. From disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Busy schedule tonight. Playoffs, NBA, NHL. So the market did move today. The point spread between the Cavaliers, Pauly, and the Pacers. It was sitting there at 2.5 for, I don't know, a good day and a half. And then you see the bump up to, 4, 4.5, touches 5, then 5.5. Now, again, on the official NBA injury report, which they update, and you can just Google it, pops up there. It's public information. They update it at the bottom of every single hour. The last one that came down, 45 minutes ago, they'll have a new one in 15 minutes. Garland, Hunter, Mobley, all still listed as questionable. But a couple of things. Underdog NBA on X, very good follow. They update all this stuff all the time. According to Shams, Darius Garland is expected to play tonight. And he also said that Mobley, Hunter, will take this for what it's worth. He said they're aiming to play tonight. So I wouldn't get too excited over that report, but
yeah, is that
enough information to say, yeah, I got to bet the Cavaliers in this game and bump it up all the way to 5?
No. It's the tax of the season on the line, too. But certainly, I don't know what happened in Game 1. They came out flat, had the big comeback, but that's also Indiana was unbelievable from 3. But you're also talking about, without 3 of your better players and you're up 20. And you let it get away. There's a same game parlay, a Cleveland show at Will Hill. Cavs win. Mitchell 4 threes, 6 dimes. Mobley goes for 20. Allen 15. 23-1. They're going to need all these guys to chip in. And I think it's a high-scoring game as well. And like we talked about with our guest, I know Mr. Cleveland, Brian Windhorst talked. He was stunned and could not believe what transpired in the fourth quarter. With points in the paint, get Indiana cleaning up the glass, and the issues, and then the turnovers. and having problems. I couldn't believe how they imploded a team that won 64 games and to play like that in the last 7 minutes.
But again, that was a thing for the first 5 or 6 games of this round. We saw it happen in every one of these games.
Yeah. Plus tinfoil hat guy can check in too about the league doesn't want short series, and this is big here that Cleveland might get the calls or what's going to transpire, and certainly what could happen tomorrow in the Garden. But
you like Denver more than you like the Pacers?
Yes.
You grab 6 with the Nuggets.
Yep. I mean, how can you not? You just go back with the getting embarrassed factor. The zigzag's been great. Plus, it's a tough place to play, and I don't think they'll have any answer for Joker, unless it could be in foul trouble again. But I don't think that's going to happen 2 games in a row. And this goes back to you got to prove it to me as well.
Are you going to bet on your guy tonight, Russell Westbrook?
Yep.
You're the president of his fan club.
Yep. He's been good, and 13.5 is too low. With Porter's injury and not being able to trust him and his shot being off, this guy is also Mr. Energy. I mean, he comes in, he gets the fans jacked up, he's making plays. He's got the irrational confidence where he's going to keep shooting, and you could ladder him, too, with his points. He had 19 in the last game. Then he had 18, 16, 14, and 21. But also look at the shots. 11 field goal attempts, went to the line 10 times. 13 field goal attempts, 15. I mean, the guy doesn't get many minutes, but he's a chucker. Sure. Total chucker. So with what's going on with Porter, and I don't know what to do with Brown either, I think Westbrook, again, you can ladder the points, and I think he'll fill up the box score as well. And you might be right, too, that it's a big Murray game. And this total is, boy, oh boy, 232.5 the total now.
They both are pretty much in that same range now.
That's the other thing where you think Adamant would light him up about if we gave up 150 points.
Right.
I mean, they'd set a record for the 87 points in the first half. Come on.
Sure. So I'm looking right now. You might be able to find a better price, but the first book I'm looking at right now for Westbrook on the alt numbers, for him to score 15 points tonight is plus 102. If you want to go up to 20, it pays plus 340. I don't know if you want to go much higher than that, but he's almost 11-1 to score 25 points. You would need a lot to go right under that. But, I mean...
Where you at with Williams? Mr. 5 of 20 in game 1.
I would not be betting him over at all.
You got a lot of confidence in Chet. They're a deep team. They got a lot of guys that can score. Yeah. But, other than SGA, game on the line. And if he's in foul trouble, what happens? Because also that was... I know it was poor coaching down the stretch, but that was also horrific execution, and they handed a game away. Stupid fouls in the backcourt and a 9-point lead with 2:40 left evaporated.
I'm going to get you an updated number here on SGA's point prop for tonight. It was 32.5 earlier this morning. Put that in my notes. I don't want to bet him in Game 3 on the road here.
No.
I don't want to bet him to score 33-plus points. That's a huge number to get to.
And some of these big boys can cash, too, if you think it's a blowout as well. Murray's 12-1. Chet's 30. Gordon's 30. Westbrook's 70. We already had Hart while you were out. Hart cashed 100-1.
Was he 100 in that game?
Yeah, but if you get either a low-scoring game, not going to happen here probably, but if you get an ugly low-scoring game or it's a blowout, weird stuff happens. Yeah,
I'm seeing right now on SGA 32.5 as the best number available on the juice is minus 115 on the under.
At that.
He's expected to score 33 points tonight. Golly. I hate fading some of these guys because I've gotten burned in times before against like Curry and LeBron going under, and they just come out there and they play out of their minds.
Well,
but
much better shot selection in Game 2 as well.
Oh, way better.
Game 1 down the stretch was vomit-inducing.
Yep.
What they did to blow that game. I did a same-game parlay in the hockey because I think I'm with Jonathan Davis. I think this Toronto-Florida series could be crazy. And we've had a 5-4 and a 4-3. So he bet Toronto team total over 2.5, and it's gone over every game in the playoffs but one. Matthews, Nylander, Tkachuk, and Verhaeghe, shots on goal over, along with Rantanen, Scheifele, and Robertson. 76-1.
So 7 guys, I think you said there?
But I think the same thing because I'm taking the key guys in Winnipeg and Dallas too, which Scheifele had the goal in the first game. What Rantanen's done, and also Robertson coming back. And I think I think Toronto, Florida, every game could look like it high scoring, 5-4, 4-3, and every game is 2-1 in the other series in the East.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm more confident in betting the unders, I think, in the Carolina game.
Have to be. How is Washington going to generate scoring opportunities?
Well,
you got to come right back with Anderson saves under. in Game 3. They're not going to get enough shots and enough offense, especially if Carolina. Well, they finally did it though. Someone scored a power play goal finally against Carolina, but they are so good with what they do defensively, and I would also play Logan Thompson saves over, where you saw Game 1 was 94-34 in shot attempts. Now it goes back to Carolina. They always play their best hockey there. I just think they're going to control the game and come back with them in regulation in Game 3.
So far, they have put the Capitals in a total meat grinder, but that's typically what they do to any of their opponents. So I think that path there, I mean, I think you don't see this very often anymore in the NHL. The first period in the next game to go over is like $1.10.
Oh, I don't want any part of that.
Oh, no, you would look at, only looking at the under in the first period under. Again, like nothing. Yeah. What they combined for last night in the first period, 12 shots or fewer than that.
Yeah.
Like it was nothing was going on. Mm-hmm. You're looking up like they're still skating around. They have no chances whatsoever to score a goal. And so if that continues, by the way, if we keep getting 2-1 scores there, at some point do they move it down to 5 for the game? I think you kind of have to.
I would move it to 5 already.
I don't blame you.
Shouldn't be at 5
the way it's going.
Yeah, and it's only $1. Yeah.
And now
$1.05 Game 3 at DraftKings Saturday afternoon.
Because what happened in the first 2 games, like you talked about in Toronto and Florida, now that totals up to 6. But that was sitting there at about 5.5 for the first 2 games.
DK's got a 6.5 on it.
Oh man, okay,
right.
That's a full goal then. All right.
Yep. Again, the numbers: teams who lost the previous game have scored a first period goal in the next game. That's 29-13, and teams who lost the previous game have scored the first goal the next game, 28-14. So that's Jets and Florida tonight. But boy, this getting carried away here with Florida. $250 now to win the game with the season on the line. $250.
Looking at $240 to win the first period tonight in the game. That Toronto, Florida first period over 1.5 is as low as -120.
I don't get that either.
You intrigued? That's at Caesars right now.
Yeah, I like that too.
A little bit higher at some other spots.
Go in the first 10?
You could talk me into that for sure. You don't have to twist my arm very hard.
What do you expect out of Hellebuck? Season on the line.
Well,
here.
do you think he was awful the other night? I don't think he was awful.
No. Couple tough goals.
He was just had by Ratnan.
The reshot, yeah. The rebound, rather. And
sure.
And I know the guys came out to his defense in the last series. He can't save what he can't see. Getting traffic in front of him in the screens, but poor guy. 9 games under 500 now in the playoffs.
I know. That first period, by the way,
is... If they lose tonight, it's over. In terms of... I'm not breaking news here, okay? But a sweep. They will not... If they can't beat them at home, and then they go to Dallas...
Yeah, probably won't go well.
And he'll probably get pulled in those games with his history.
Caesars has a pick-em on the total for the first period there, 1.5. And in the Carolina and Washington game, under at Caesars, under 1.5 goals, -105.
All right. Betting on sports, why not try the races? First Bet lets you wager on hundreds of horse races every day. Chop tracks across the U.S. and around the world. Sign up firstbet.com, promo code VSiN200. Claim a 20% rebate for your first 60 days. Up to $200. Head to firstbet.com today. Preakness right around the corner. Go get them.
Mm-hmm. All right. So busy action, obviously. We'll get into a plethora of props for tonight, NBA and the NHL playoffs. Pauly just told you about a parlay that he's playing. We'll get into some maybe home run looks. This is all coming up in about the next 20 minutes or so. Some home run looks tonight, ballparks that should be hitter-friendly. And up next, VSiN superstar Stormy Buonantony is going to join the program. She was part of ESPN's broadcasting crew for the Oilers Game 2 overtime win in Vegas last night. What is her betting approach to Game 3 with the Oilers holding a commanding lead in the series? We'll ask her next here on VSiN.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Welcome in. Good to have you on board here. We'll continue talking NHL and the playoffs. You can hear our next guest on a great show called Money Moves, noon Eastern every day during the week, along with new co-host Jonathan Von Tobel. Stormy Buonantony joins the program now, and she is on the Progressive Guest Line. Stormy, good afternoon. Thanks for the time today. How are you?
Yeah, happy to be with you guys. I'm great. How are you doing?
Doing really well. So your overall takeaways from last night with the Golden Knights. I don't want to say that they deserved to win the game because I thought probably for regulation the Oilers were better overall, but the way they eventually lost it, when I thought they clearly dominated Edmonton and had plenty of chances early in the overtime, and then they did not get the whistle to go their way with what I thought was a clear penalty. I thought that was kind of a killer loss the way it played out like that. What say you?
Yeah, It was. And I do think it's interesting that you say maybe they didn't deserve to win considering the way they played. Bruce Cassidy said straight up after the game that he did. He thought that they outplayed Edmonton most of the game and that they deserved a better outcome. And the more I thought about it going back through the game, I do kind of agree with Bruce, even going back to the second period where they're up 1-0. It's you look back to the first game where they only get one shot on net in the second period. It was a complete role reversal in the first 11:30 of the second period last night, where Vegas gets a ton of solid shots, a couple grade A's, but nothing gets through. And then Wallman scores on what was the Oilers, I think, second shot in that period, 11 and a half minutes in. And then it's goal, goal, goal when it shouldn't have been, right? Like that's an Adin Hill issue. I think he got a little bit in his head there. Carlson got one back. They have all this resolve to get back and force overtime. And then, as you said, they get that killer 5-minute major penalty from Nick Waugh. They kill it. They have all these great chances. You would think get a little bit of momentum from that. I instantly thought when they killed that penalty, oh, Vegas is going to win now.
Yep.
And then, obviously you mentioned the Braden McNabb no call penalty from Victor Arvidsson that 17 seconds later, Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, who were clamped down by the Golden Knights all day, get on the score sheet for the first time of the day, and it's the game-winning goal. And I think that's kind of been what Edmonton is this postseason, at least.
Oh, yeah.
That it hasn't had to be the Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl show. It's been a lot of depth that has stood up for them. But when they've needed Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, they show up.
How pissed off was Cassidy with the non-call and then his own goaltending?
Livid. And he said repeatedly in his post-game press conference that, hey, it was obvious. It was a can opener tripping penalty. It should have been called. The referees got it wrong. And when it came to Adin Hill, I think the fact that he didn't finish his thought and that he didn't continue to say things that you could tell were percolating in his brain with regards to his goaltending, and instead finished his thought, just finished pretty abruptly and then walked off of the podium at the end of the game. Him not saying his full thought to me was saying a lot about where things sat with Adin Hill, and he has to be better. And especially again on a night where the Golden Knights did a really good job defending those top guys, for them not to be rewarded for it, for them not to have a split at home in those first two games when they're favored to do so. And they did play better the majority of the games. I was even looking at the shot share in the overtime from Natural Stat Trick. It was like 67% of the shots were Golden Knights and good chances. So I feel for them to have to go to Edmonton now down 0-2.
Yeah, so do I. I mean, obviously with this team playing so well right now, and you mentioned that about like McDavid and Draisaitl didn't even show up on the score sheet until that final goal in overtime, which was an absolute thing of beauty. So they're doing a great job shutting those two guys down or neutralizing them. I don't want to say that the Golden Knights are dead in the water, because they have done this before in the playoffs against obviously really good teams to drop the first two games and they come back and they win that eventually. They feel a little bit different though now, going to Edmonton and taking on these two guys and that overall team and how well they're playing.
I've gone back and forth on it. We had Mike Palm, obviously, who you guys know well and how much he loves hockey. And he came on Money Moves this morning and said he's not sure if Vegas gets another win. And I can completely understand that thought process. I just personally find it so hard to believe. What's going to be important for me when it comes to Vegas is, what are we going to get on the ice? Like, how is Braden McNabb? Is he going to be available again? Because he's one of the top Golden Knights penalty killers. And I think that's going to be critical when you have that Edmonton Oilers power play on home ice. Are they going to be able to find more goal support and score the goals when they need them? Because I think that Oilers defense and goaltending can be had.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So can you get that from the guys that you need it from Eichel and from Stone? And Pavel Dorofeev is going to be traveling to Edmonton. Is he going to be back and a 35-goal scorer in the regular season, but dealing with whatever he's dealing with this lower body injury? What's he going to look like out there? Everybody's been raving about Calvin Pickard, guys. And sure, give him credit. He made some stops when he needed to get them. He's 6-0 in the postseason. Nobody else can say that. But he's also given up 3+ goals in 4 of them. 3 of them were 4 goals against. He's not exactly like Connor Hellebuck regular season, right? This is Calvin Pickard, a journeyman guy who's getting an opportunity and making the most of it. But the Vegas Golden Knights should be able to do something here. I firmly believe they get a split and win at least one of the games in Edmonton. I just don't know which one it is, which then creates the mental problem for me when you are trying to bet game 3 and you see that the Oilers are a minus 130-ish home favorite in that spot. And do you want to take a plus money price on the Golden Knights? But game 1 in Edmonton, when that crowd's going to be behind your back, I don't know. So I think Edmonton wins the series now. I don't know what that means for them moving forward if they can continue to outgoal everyone. But I'm surprised that they've been able to do it against Vegas to this point. Yeah,
and can they get a lead, too? That's the other 6 straight comeback wins, which is nuts. Are you okay with an all-Canadian Stanley Cup?
Do you think, like, Edmonton-Toronto? Is that what?
Oh,
is that
please.
where your mind's going?
That'd be unbelievable television.
Would love that.
Yes, absolutely.
It would. It would. It would be hard to believe, though, just because it's been so long. And that was even the huge stat coming into this round, right? That we had never seen this many teams in the Final 8 in the last however many years. So it would be great television. What do you guys think that would be for the American viewership, though, for the Stanley Cup final? Would that bring it down, or because the storylines are so good and they have so much star power, would it not matter?
I think the latter. It's Matthews against McDavid, and every game would be 6-5.
Here's I think that it would get great ratings in big American hockey cities.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. Do you think that Toronto can do it, though? Because I've heard a lot of people looking at even Florida, and I can't believe the price that they're at tonight, by the way.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Like, that number just continues to grow. Oh, my goodness. But there are a lot of people that think, okay, Florida, even down here, this is a good time to buy in on them to win the Eastern Conference. They can come back in this series. Toronto's not going to be able to get it done. I know, talking to a lot of people that have worked in Toronto and have covered the team for a long time, they get a sense that this team is different. You guys watch a ton of hockey too. Do you feel that a little bit at all? And does the Anthony Stolarz injury impact the way you view them?
Yes and yes. I feel like they are a different team than they have been in previous years, but also I think Stolarz is better than Wall. So, I mean, I would, if you're telling me right now that Stolarz is going to come back like beyond game 3, I'm like, yeah, I think they can make it to the Stanley Cup at that point.
Also, sorry, I know that this is your guys' show, but I think the reporter in me is just programmed to ask questions, so I apologize.
That's fine. Good. It's good.
Yeah. If you have anything else, go ahead. Throw it at us. We'll see what we can come up with.
Who do you guys have to win the cup right now? Who do you feel like is in the driver's seat?
I played a Carolina-Dallas exact 11-1.
Oh,
I know.
Pauly.
Well, that's terrible. That's the worst one.
I bet those two teams every single year. And I promised myself this year I wasn't going to do it because they've broken my heart so many times. Yeah. And now look at the way that they're playing. Like Dallas, especially with them getting healthy, what's the update on Heiskanen today? Forgive me. I haven't checked. I haven't bet that game today.
I didn't see that yet either.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't see either this morning. But Robertson obviously back. I know he hasn't looked like himself, but when the two of them are full go, they're awesome. And I remember Mike Palm actually earlier this season when I was trying to talk myself into betting Dallas once again, he talked me out of it because he's like, really, you're going to go down that road again? Don't do it.
He's out.
He's out tonight, by the way, Heiskanen. Yeah. Oh, there's something to that, though. Mike Palm detests Ottinger. Can't stand him. He thinks that he's completely unreliable. So, okay, I'm on Carolina 5-1 to win the East. But let me throw this at you, and Pauly brought this up earlier. How about a little Logan Thompson to win the Conn Smythe? It was like 40-1. And there's an angle there, right? If they're going to make this deep run and be there, that guy's probably got to play out of his mind.
He has been great for them.
Yes.
Forgive me, you cut out a little bit, so I hope you guys can hear me. He has been awesome for them. And if they do continue to make this run, a lot of it is going to be on his shoulder. So I don't hate that at all, especially at that price. We had Josh Ingles on the program earlier, and he brought up maybe Tom Wilson, and because of the number, for the sake of argument, 250-1.
Yeah, and we had a guest on. It was Jonathan Davis this week. He said that specifically in this series, Carolina has nobody to really answer him. So, Stormy, what's the next game that you're going to be broadcasting on?
I'm not sure yet. I might actually be done. I don't know yet, but it was honestly like a true dream come true for me to get to do national playoff hockey this past week and a half. And I very, very fortunate. And between the benches for the first time, I got hit with a puck. I've done the whole thing. We really just nailed down everything you could ask for in the playoffs.
How'd that feel? Pretty good overall?
It wasn't awesome. You know, it hurt a little bit, but we got through. The joke with me and JVT this week was that I took as many shots on goal as the Golden Knights took in the second period when my injury happened.
Yes.
Well, you did a great job on the broadcast, Stormy.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. You did a great job here
guys.
today as well, obviously. So thank you. We appreciate that. You can catch her every day on Money Moves with JVT at noon Eastern. We'll get into a plethora of props across the board tonight next here on VSiN.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
A lot of props to consider every day, this time of year specifically. You have a bid card tonight in the playoffs, NBA and the NHL, and a full card in Major League Baseball as well. I'll tell you this before we begin, maybe some home run guys to look at for tonight. And by reading and looking at, some ballpark metrics tonight and the research that goes into that, 2 ballparks are screaming like runs, and that's obviously in the betting market for tonight, and maybe some home runs. Tampa Bay, weather conditions are great for runs to be scored, and the other one is Sacramento tonight. But that total's at 11 now between Warren and Beto for the A's. It's a high total. First 5 is 6 runs there.
Get creative with Judge. Judge back home here, Sacramento. He's in a 2 for 15 funk. I think Judge goes off tonight.
Oh, let me ask you something about this, by the way, because we talked about that in Do You Concur. He's 80-1 to hit 400. He is so heavily priced as the MVP favorite right now. Our guy, Bobby Witt, is absolutely on fire.
Oh, yeah, his props have been great.
Would you give consideration at all in case something happens to Judge?
Yes.
To Witt at 10-1?
Yes. Just take the field, though. Yeah, just take the field. He can get hurt.
Oh,
absolutely.
Is there a yes-no on it?
Yeah, there's a yes-no up.
Okay.
Last 17 games, 343, 10 extra base hits, 15 RBIs. He's got an RBI 5 games in a row, and he's swiping bags, and they've won 15-17.
Yeah, and
by the way, the Yankees' record sucks without Fried. They're under 500.
Yeah, sure.
So that's another thing, too. So that's the way to attack it.
All I'm saying, too, here is that maybe Witt at the end of the year won't be able to pull it off. But keep in mind that they were, I think, a popular selection. You brought this up on them to have the most wins in May.
Yeah.
Because of a very easy and a doable schedule.
Yep.
Maybe by the end of May, 10-1 is long gone on Bobby Witt. That's all I'm saying. But most home runs allowed by probable pitchers for tonight. Again, I brought up the Tampa Bay home park. Zach Littell is allowed 10. He's facing the Brewers. Michael Lorenzen he's allowed 8. They're hosting the Red Sox. And Senzatella goes for the Rockies. He's allowed 8 home runs on the year. I can't bet any Padres player to hit a home run because Tatis is 2-1 in that neighborhood tonight.
Yeah. Take a look at Milwaukee steals. Second most bags in baseball. Tampa allows the second most stolen bases. They've lost 11-12 at home. Oh, what a dumpster fire.
I would come up with Terang then, obviously, but he's going to be a low number.
Yeah, but didn't they have like 7 in one game?
They did, yeah. I think they had 9. They had 9 in one game this year.
Okay. So that's a way to attack it, too, is how bad Tampa's been. I don't know. What do you want to do with Pittsburgh with the new manager? They're on the long losing streak. They're at home. They fire Shelton. Kelly comes in to take over. They're on pace for 111 losses.
Pittsburgh's on pace for that many losses?
Lost 7 in a row. They've been outscored 36-12. 3 runs per game. 26th in home runs. It's Falter today against Elder. I see 8.5's the total.
Is this the play then? Because our buddy Dan on X has been charting this the entire year, and he tweeted us earlier today. The Pirates are 24-6 under a team total of 4.5.
Okay.
Now you can find that.
Strong.
The team total is not going to be 4.5 in some of their games, obviously, but you can still find that number and pay juice if you would like, because the offense has been just in the tank other than O'Neal Cruz and Brian Reynolds maybe?
Yeah. Here's what I'm looking at from total bases and if you want to get creative with multiple hits and all that stuff. Raleigh's been on fire for Seattle, and they've been great. They've won 9 series in a row.
He has great numbers against Kevin Gausman.
He's 5 of 11 with 3 bombs against Gausman. Judge, I just mentioned, Buxton's been great for Minnesota. He's been on fire. They've won 10 of 11. Right back, tough loser yesterday. He had a base hit early, but that was it. Freddie Freeman. Freddie Freeman hitting .469, 18 RBIs during the 13-game hitting streak. Against Rodriguez, he's 6 for 12 with a bomb.
And a double.
Thank you. Kike is also 5 of 11 with a home run. I know he got the home road splits there, which are glaring with the Dodgers, but Rodriguez also has lousy numbers against the Dodgers.
So how do you want to approach Freddie Freeman then in this spot tonight? Do you want to do hit plus run plus RBI, or do you want to do total bases again? Because that's been a popular one here lately.
What's hit plus run? What's that one? I can go over total bases, and I go because he had some RBIs in the last couple games.
I'll try to find
That's
out
not bad. I could do that as well. Okay. A lot of guys cooking for Detroit. Number 2 in runs scored. Baez, 382, 14 RBIs, last 8 games.
Against Patrick Corbin, 7 of 23 with 2 home runs in his career.
Torkelson hitting 300, 8 RBIs the last 7 games. He's number 2 in RBIs behind Judge. You got to get to Corbin, you would think. Have to. So a couple guys for Detroit that could go off as well.
Gleyber Torres against Corbin in his career. Very small sample size as always here, but 4 of 11. That's a .364 average and 2 home runs. It's an elite offense.
Yep.
I'm just concerned that they played a doubleheader in Coors yesterday, and now they're back home for this game.
I mentioned Witt as well. Witt's been on a heater. I know our guy Ozzy has been playing total bases. He swiped a couple of bags in the last game, which paid well. So you got everything. I mean, Witt's checking all the boxes. He's swiping bags. He's getting hits. He's extra base hits, RBIs. He's done it all, what he's done. Plus, they're 15-2 in their last 17. And I like the over in the Royal game. And I also wanted to go, Soto's been on fire and Alonso's been on fire. His 18-game on base streak came to an end, but they're going against Taillon, and what a matchup here. Because the Mets, it's number 1 and number 2 in the NL in run differential. The Cubs have the number 1 offense. The Mets have allowed the fewest runs and have a great ERA. And the Cubs also have played the most difficult schedule, yet they still have this record. Mm-hmm. So keep an eye on the Cubs, because after this, 12 of the next 15 are against garbage teams.
Sure. Now, here's the thing. Soto against Taillon in his career, 1 of 11.
Damn.
Sub 100 average, a single and 5 strikeouts. But again, that's only a couple of games.
Good form.
And I'll give you this from Adam Burke at VSiN.com. His analysis today was awesome on this. I would encourage you to go read it. I tweeted it out a little bit earlier as well. A couple of picks from him tonight. Gavin Williams over 4.5 hits allowed. That's -120. He's got a full unit on Stephen Kwan, over a half a run. I tailed him on that at +120. Great analysis of that in the article. He also bet Kwan, quarter unit, 12-1 to hit a home run, and Kwan, half a unit to steal a base at +650 tonight. I played Kwan total bases over 1.5 at plus money, and I also tailed Adam on that one to score the runs, like I said, at +120. There is this, too, with the Padres and the Rockies. Machado in his career against Senzatella, 9 of 23. 4 doubles and a home run. That's a .391 average. The Padres swept the Rockies at Petco back in mid-April. Mm-hmm. You remember this? They blanked the Rockies in 3 straight games. 8-0, 2-0, 6-0. Colorado had 9 hits and 88 at-bats and 32 strikeouts. The only club over the last 40 years to shut out the same opponent in 4 consecutive matchups was the Marlins, when they blanked the Expos in 4 straight meetings across 2 series in April of 2004. Only time that could happen tonight.
Damn right.
But it's in Coors.
And then a couple, 10 days ago, we kicked around the adjusted wins on the Rockies. And I told you to pound the under, because I said
I loved under 48.5.
Yeah, I said in 3 weeks, let me know where we're at. They're 6-31. Here's the schedule coming up. San Diego, Texas, Arizona, Phillies, Yankees, Cubs, Mets, Giants, Braves, Diamondbacks, Dodgers, Brewers, Houston, White Sox, Boston, Reds.
Oh, they'll get right.
What? They're going to lose 135 games.
They're on pace to lose that many.
That doubleheader was like Bad News Bears, what was going on. Ground ball the third, kicks it. Comebacker, going to be a double play. Oh, the base is loaded all of a sudden. You look up 1-0 becomes 6-0. And they just got pounded against Detroit. Look at these are all playoff teams or teams above 500 coming up here for 2 months.
Is there anything in the baseball bylaws that if a team is this ugly and nasty, that either they have to be forced to selling the team, they have to get moved, or they can get relegated somehow? I feel like that should be put in the fine print when you purchase a team and put them into existence. If you lose 130-plus games, sorry, guys. That's enough. Yeah. You got to give up the team. They're on pace to blow away how bad the White Sox were last year. I never thought I would say that.
Well, don't forget about them either. They're dreadful too.
I know it.
I mean, they might run that back and drop 110 this year. All right, all those are best bets. Fun to always kick around the props every day. And sponsored by G-Bank. Get the G-Bank Visa Signature Card today. Most credit card street sportsbooks and gaming transactions as cash advances. Even when you put your own money on your card, G-Bank treats gaming transactions as purchases, so you're saving up to 3 to 5% on cash advance fees and gaming transactions right there. Also, you're earning 1% cash back on all eligible sportsbook and gaming transactions and 2% cash back rewards on all other eligible purchases. Apply now, VSiN.com/GBank, VSiN.com/GBank.
All right, so first book I looked at for an updated number on the Whites, check that, on the Rockies win total for the regular season. Take a guess what the number is. It was 48.5 when we talked about it 2 weeks ago, probably.
44.5.
Yeah, did you see it?
No, I didn't.
That's exactly right.
Oh, man.
So then it's
Look
not
at
worth,
that schedule.
It's not worth a bet to you then. It's minus 130. Okay. I don't know if the win total shouldn't be like 39.5 right now.
Yeah. Jeez, what a joke.
All right, we'll expand on the Major League Baseball card coming up next. We have that Major Malinsky special, but the home team has the ultimate counter to that. Details next here on VSiN.
If you work in quality control at a candy factory, you know strict safety regulations come with the job. It's why you partner with Grainger. Grainger helps you find the high quality and compliant products your business needs to inspect, detect, and help correct issues. And the sweetest part is, everyone gets a product that's as safe to eat as it is delicious. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.